Hello, and welcome back to What Do You Know Wednesdays. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and even comment to this video. For today, I will be discussing one of those new commands in AutoCAD'S 2024 version, and that is known as your Offsetgaptype Command. Autodesk itself describes this command to control how potential gaps between segments are treated when polylines are offset. So we understand already about the offset command, but now we can use this offset command to make not only our objects offset each other, but we can already have them set as fillet line segments or even our chamfer line segments. And we can do this by entering simple values. In front of our screen here, we have 3 objects. With this first square object, I'm going to go ahead and use our traditional offset command. So coming up to where we have that sideways U is what I like to call it, offset, I'm going to go ahead and select it. Down in my command bar, it says offset distance. So again, remember, this is where we will put in our distance. So I'm going to just say 2 feet. And then, of course, it tells me to select the object. In selecting that object, I'm going to move my cursor out or in. Either way, it's going to jump out 2 feet. So moving my cursor inward for this example, I'm going to just go ahead and left click to drop it into place, and I have my 2 feet set inward for my offset distance of the original size of this square. Now, in using the new command of our offset gap type, we're going to enter a value of the distance that we want our object to go. So I'm just going to simply type it in, and I'm going to say offset gap right in my command bar. And in doing so, it should pull up for you your offset gap type. And when you press enter, it says enter new value of offset gap. The default value is going to be 0 right now. The 0 is where we're just going to leave it as is. It extends the line segments to their projected intersections. So when we offset this and leaving it at a 0 value, it's going to create the exact same shape, and our corners will be meeting at that 90 degree of this square. So leaving it 0, I'm just going to simply press enter. And then I'm going to type in the word offset. And I'm again just working in my command bar. You can choose the offset icon if you like. And then again, it's going to ask me to put in a distance. So whatever that distance is, I'm going to say 1 foot and press enter. And I'm going to select the object and now jump it outward 1 feet by putting my mouse on the outside of the original square. Left click to drop. If I scroll out to my other shapes that I have here, I'm going to just skip right now. Well, actually, we can go to our center shape here. And I'm going to now use another value of the offset gap type, just to show what it looks like to have our fillet line segments together. So all of the corners that meet here will no longer meet and touch at that perfect angle. We're going to fillet or round our corners at each point. To do that, I'm going to escape out of this command so that my command bar is blank. And I'm going to again type in the word offset gap. And then gap type comes up. And pressing enter. Enter in the new value. For this value, if I wanted my corners to be rounded here, I'm going to put in the value of 1 and then press enter. Now I'm going to also type in the word offset. And then it's going to give me a distance. I'm going to put 2 feet again and press enter. Then it also says select the object to offset. I'm going to go ahead and select any of the lines and move my cursor to the outside extended or the inside, but outside is where I'm going to get that fillet, because moving it inside is not enough space to give my rounded corners. So if I bounce it to the outside and left click to drop my object in place, I now have my rounded or fillet corners of my shape. Now you will see that these shapes here, or the corners of our shape, have that fillet or the roundedness. If I go to my command or my measure geom, I can go ahead and select that rounded corner, and you can see that it has 2 feet in the same distance of coming off. Its rounded edges are at 2 feet of that arc. Checking the radius of 2 feet. And the diameter is 4 feet of the radius of the curve or the arc. Moving over to our rectangle here, I'm going to escape to start it over, and I'm going to type in the word offset gap again. And for this gap type value, I'm going to change the value now into the number 2. When you put in a value of 2, we're going to now chamfer our line segments at their projected intersections. So now these 4 corners here will no longer be at 90-degree angles when we go to offset them. The perpendicular distance from each chamfer to its corresponding vertex on the original object is also going to be equal to the offset distance. This means now if I type in the word offset, or again choose my offset command and press enter, I can put in the distance, and I'm going to now just increase my distance to 3 feet. And then it tells me to select my object, which I'm going to do. And when I move my cursor out, it's going to jump to 3 feet. I can left click to drop in place. And now you can see all of your corners have a chamfer, and that chamfered line is going to have a distance of 3 feet. So, demonstrated was that offset gap command. Remember, when you're using this command, you're going to type offset gap in, or you can bring it from your drop down, or you can use a shortcut, which is the Control, Shift, and then the O to bring up offset gap. You're going to be able to put in 3 different values. Leaving it at the 0 value will extend the line segments to their projected segments. So that's where your corners are going to meet at the original angles. Or if you want to fillet your corners or your line segments where they project at intersections, you can type in the value of 1. And then if you want to chamfer your line segments at their projected intersections, you're going to use a value of 2. But in doing that, once you choose your value, it's going to bring your command bar blank. You're going to type in offset again, or go back to the offset command, and then follow the prompts from there. In order to get the values in, you must select it using the offset gap command first, then going back into offset to complete the task. I hope this video has taught you something new about that new offset gap type command that's in your AutoCAD 2024.